So I'm messing around with Total War games again. Someone mentioned, comment in my other video that this is RTR, Imperium Surrectum. When comparing it to Rome 2, Rome 2 has a lot of cool features, but the map is probably its weakest feature, even modded, because each region has one city kind of thing is really hard coded into it. They're saying apparently they're starting to change that in that system. But hasn't quite gotten there. So I wanted to give an example because people are saying, oh, it's gone overboard with cities and this. Well, there's something to be said about that. I'm going to show you an example. It's hard to tell in Persia because when I was playing the Seleucids, there was just an ass load of Seleucid territories. So I'm going to show you one where it's a little bit more important. And that is in Greece. So let's start with Sparta. Whatever. Because I was messing around on the Sparta game. I do want to play my Seleucid game on here, but I felt it'd be weird to do one in Rome 2 and one in this at the same time. I mean, I could compare and contrast. One of my friends swears by this. It's like this setup is like way better than Rome 2. There's a number of things that I do like about Rome 2. Like the politics is kind of neat and everything. I haven't done any battles in this mod. I used to play Rome Total Realism, which this is a successor to, a lot back in college. That was like one of my main things. I didn't. I did beat it as Rome once. I beat the original games, the Greek city-states, and the Gauls at one point. I just thought it was funny. The Gauls, it gets really hard late game because you don't really advance your tech in areas that other civilizations do. So sieges get like really hard once you go to the Middle East as Gauls. A lot of that it kind of goes away in some of these mods. Also, the soundtrack in this is way better. So this is something I wanted to show. How many agents? This is just an example. I'm not going to keep this game. I actually have another game. Alright. Do a diplomat. Oh, it's a frame rate thing. That's what's happening. Alright. So there is a issue. I thought I got this stable, but I guess not. You have to get it to like 60 frames where it starts tweaking. Yeah. The engine starts tweaking out, and I think the mod, if you go above 60 frames per second. So yeah, anyway, the point I was making, and that's the reason why I wanted to recruit that dude and move him there. Spartans right now are like a shell of their former glory. They really have. What's my recruit? Yeah. Their second-class citizen Periokoi, or the second-class citizens of Spartans, because it tells you all this stuff. Yeah, second-class citizens, because they didn't have enough first-class citizens. Sparta's a large town. If I remember right, I gotta set my taxes to very high. Very high. A little navy will go here. There's a point with this, trust me. So you can see in Rome 2, you just have Sparta down here. I can't remember if there's another city over here, but it's like You have Sparta and maybe one other city, maybe not. There was actually in the Achaean League and the city-states a whole bunch of important cities in the southern Peloponnese. Like it was a big deal. Messina, that was the. These are the freed helots, more or less. They used to belong to Sparta for like hundreds of years. And when the Spartans were defeated at Electra, they were defeated again by Alexander the Great, a bunch of other people. They lost control of a bunch of their stuff and started going into decline. As you see, you have this one under the Antigonids. You've got Aegea, Megalopolis, the famed city, Arcadia, like all these places you normally wouldn't. So I'm going to also almost always build. I almost always build a wall is my first thing. I was like, oh, Spartan had no walls. Well, it does now, bitch. It makes too much. Anyway, I'm not keeping this game anymore. I don't know why I'm doing this. I have a sickness. So we will... So go ahead and end turn. Yeah, the first turn on this is real crazy because it has a ton of factions, kind of like Warhammer, Warhammer 3, where they have like 200 something factions to start with, and they slowly start getting gobbled up. I don't even know who half these Dardanians. I don't know who half these guys are. And dummies, I think, is the random one that exists on the first turn. 3 peoples are your old school rebels. Yeah. The dummies always die on the first turn. It's like they're... Alright, so to give you an idea more... Agents.
Can I be of service? Yes, master.
That's right, they changed it. It used to be you press spacebar to do this.
Yes, master.
Yeah. You have Elis, that's a Greek city-state that controlled Olympia, and it was considered sacred. It was where they held the Olympics, and crime was like super punishable. You have...
My lord? That's not what did, sir. Yes, my lord.
So we got Arcadia, Phocis,
Yes, my lord.
Corinth. This is a very important city-state because it controlled the entry in the Peloponnese, in these mountains here, and oh wait a minute, that's not correct. These mountains here, like Tegetus, I don't know, some fucking mountains, but they're the ones that help Sparta with its defense. And then you've got mountains over here.
Yes, my
this guy going. We've got Megaris, which is important from Assassin's Creed.
Yes, my lord.
Athens. Over here. We got a fucking army. camped out here, they're gonna be in trouble. Athens, although this doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like you're allied with Athens as part of the Achaean League, although this is 270. This may have happened. Um, the deal with it was that Athens was
Yes, my
basically a
lord.
client on the Boeotians because the league was reformed by Cassander. It used to be that the Theban states of Boeotia, I don't know. The motherfuckers up in here were all like fucking stomped out by Alexander because he's pissed off at them. And he's like sacked fucking thieves and raced them to the ground, supposedly threw all the blocks into the ocean. But then Cassander is somewhat of a slight to the memory of Alexander. Rebuilt Thebes and they created their own league again. He freed all the peoples. But yeah, there's a lot more going on in Greece that benefits from having all these. There's the statue of Zeus. The benefits from having all these city-states that deals with the city-state, the city-state thing going on. Now here's another one. I'm going to show you another one. We're going to go to the menu. Yes. Because like all that is represented in there, like the allies. Like you start out as one big part of a league if you play the city states, and it's not represented at all like that in Rome too. There's like one fucking city there, one city for Athens. You have the Aetolian League in the middle there, Epirus, and then the Antigonid Kingdom. At the time, it was the Antigonid Empire, pretty much, because they had a whole lot of Greece at the time. So we're going to do another one, and we'll show you Rome. Because in Rome, you only have like 4 cities or something in Rome too. And this is what I was saying, the map is the weakest part of Rome too. The battles are fine. I like the modded battles versus the regular battles because my problem with the core game battles is that they feel too arcadey. They don't feel like you really have to. It's the same problem with Warhammer Total Wars, even though I'm not that good at it. A lot of it I just have to like shut my brain off and do weird gimmicky shit to play. Like certain tactics like flanking people and doing other stuff only matters a little bit. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, so Rome. Look how fuck huge Rome is. Look at that. Look at that. This is like well after, because in 304, when you play an Imperator, you only own a little bit of it. But in that space of like 20 years, Rome expanded a lot and created like this league of like Latin League states. Now this is like right before the first Punic War. Now these areas, the Salentians, Calabranians, when was Pyrrhus's battle? Because there used to be over here, yeah, see there's Ancon. There used to be up around here a bunch of Greek cities, and they... Stop right quick. No, give me my cursor. Stop saving my cursor to the thing. Okay. When was Pyrrhus's battle with Rome? That was like 278. When was Pyrrhus battle with Rome? Alright, so this is 5 years after that big battle. Oh, that's disappointing. That was actually a really nifty part of this, is that Epirus came over here and did a bunch of shit. And it was against southern Italy, Sicily. So this is after Rome's victory. You guys are just Etruscan rebels. Because they did have problems, the Etruscans and others like rising up and down, but you know that Rome is like kind of overpowered with how many cities it gets, kind of like the Seleucids as well on the path to everyone's all pissed off. What are they pissed off about? Squalor, culture, penalty, religion. Oh, that's right, they reintroduced religion for this. Yeah, you don't really see that too much in Rome 2 at all. You see it a lot in what sense? Dominant religious mentality. Dorian. He's of a different religion than me. Okay. All the wars since the end of time. It tells you all the religious things. So I'm glad they have that because in Attila it mattered a lot, and Rome barbarian invasion, all that mattered a lot, but people don't really talk about it in other ones. Even though religion at this time had a really weird, at least on the Greek side, had a really weird mix because they found monotheism to be absurd, and in a lot of ways, intellectually thinking monotheism is a little absurd in that it's hard to imagine one overpowerful being controlling every single aspect of life. Does he watch you when you jack off? Why do people get like fiddle purpose? Like that seems weird. Whereas if you have a bunch of gods and some of them are assholes, and some of them want what's good for you, and some of them are like, no, fuck that guy, then it makes a little bit more sense with the fickleness. It's easier to swallow many small pills than it is to swallow a big giant pill. Anyway, that's enough of a bullshit rant on religion. Let's see here. Yeah. So as you can see, Rome is a lot more represented with all the traditional things. But if you look, oh yeah, that's right. I installed a camera mod. Oh, damn it! I forgot that this lags out when I do this. Damn it! Give me my shit back. There you go. Yeah, look how fucking big this map is. This map is amazeballs. How do I know about them? This would have done better if it was at 280 so you could see what's the purest thing, but it's a lot to be thrust into Rome. This is Rome at very successful. They just have Celts and a few others, the Boii and Serbes, various states over there. Let's see, look at a lot of this stuff. So, yeah, that's another good example. This 20 turns. Oh yeah, I tried doing the chivalry game as France, but not fun. It well, it has potential. My issue with it is it needs a lot of polish. Like I would probably be better off doing like do a stainless steel if I'm gonna do medieval games. I may do the Attila. I heard Attila's piano was really good, but I can never get that motherfucker to work right. It was like always buggy, so I kind of gave up on it. maybe it would crash periodically or have some other problems. This, I had to, maybe that's what I need to do with Attila. I just delete everything, but and reinstall it, because that's ended up being what I had to do this and get the battle source. So this is the one I was playing with Sparta. I was playing a little bit too passive, because even though I have a bunch of allies here, the Antagonids are kind of on the roll. These are the Achaean leagues. Ellis has taken over a bunch. I've taken over kind of the south, although I may turn on the Antagonids. My concern is that I'm pretty sure the Antagonids control a lot. And then the Achaean League, inevitably Sparta becomes part of the Achaean League. The Achaean League in like 20 more years. They get kind of swept up into it, so they can no longer be isolationist. Because the problem is the big problem with Spartans is they were trying to do with too much with too little. Yeah, that's where I was making all these allies to get all these. Yeah, look at this. You got Halicarnassus, where what was it? Herodotus comes from there. All these places that are normally not represented, they're major parts of the Greek world. What was the deal with this? This is a wonder. Mausoleum. That's right. I don't know what these random shows are about. I haven't done a battle with these guys yet. Also, I've heard there's like weird, unusual things you have to do to get certain. A buddy of mine plays these, and there's weird things you have to do to get certain unit types in this. Like, it's not just a matter of constructing buildings. I'm making stuff, but my recruitment is pretty limited. Like, it's still the perioi fair bit of money now, though. This only lasts, what is it, 4 turns per year? It's either 2 or 4. The big thing I was making was markets, because the economy is both simpler and hard. At least my here. And these guys over here, even though we're building the wall, we gotta rebuild all the rest of it. Sparta did have a cavalry for a little bit. Their cavalry was not good. Let's see. Hoplite was pretty good. So, like, if Rome 2 had Rome 2 had, these guys are the only ones that Athenian Marines. Okay. To say the anchor is kind of a Seleucid thing. These guys are still fighting the old way of war. Even though there's no general in this, so you can just send a random commander out there to do shit. If Rome 2 had more city representation, I think I would be happier with it. It's not bad. I've been having fun with the game. Even though the computer fucking cheats because they're assholes. It's like there's no way I'm like gutting multiple stacks of dudes. It's like, oh, you're back already with like 20 guys and like 1 turn. Fuck. You're a cheating bitch. I have all these allies and everything. I guess I could just start preying on the Antagonids now. turn on all these guys. But anyway, this wasn't really intended to be a playthrough game. This is intended to be a... Oh, you know what? There is one more. We'll do some menu. There's one more that's a good example. Because in Rome 2, there's like hardly anything here. There's like big cities in fucking Rome 2. Place. Whoever did this is fucking bad. Yeah, these are. We can actually play as the Messians. That'd be funny to play the former Helots and Zack Sparta. Slavery's wrong, my guy. People. That one part slavery's still there, but yeah, look at how dense fucking Britain is. I'm playing the fucking Trinovantes who did nothing of note at all. Of them being on a TV show. Where one of they show they're not even in Rome 2. They're there as like a precursor to the Iceni, and they show up in like Rome 2 as a political faction. Minor political faction. Wow, this is terrible. Let's see, do I have any agents? I think any agents. I want to give a good look around.
General!
I'm not intending on doing anything with this, so... These guys even practice agriculture? That looks like farms on here, but from what Tacitus wrote of Britain, it was like everybody just dumped themselves in bogs and barely spoke and weren't really literate and didn't understand deep concepts. And like they mostly even I think he even wrote a part where uh, they would see these people and they'd be taking a nap with their pigs, which the Romans thought was absurd. So they didn't have a high opinion of Britain. I guess that actually saved Britain a bit because it was the idea that Britain sucked so much that the Romans were like, "Do we really want to mess with this place? Is this place worth messing with?" Um, yeah,
Awaiting your
let's see
command.
what we got.
Yes, my lord. Yes.
To be
my
fair,
lord.
during this age, is there nothing
At
here?
once.
make me look bad. Alright, so there's something here. Who the fuck are these people? These are the Cantiatians.
At once.
Who the fuck that is?
At once.
I think they have the Picts and the Caledonians, because they have the Picts, the Caledonians, and the Imperium in Rome too. There's really only a handful of cities. Britain is not excited to what they have here in this one.
Yes, master.
Royal Talbians.
At once.
Alright, so it's still mostly empty. Maybe I just like. Maybe this was a bad example. I thought they had more shit here. But even so, they still have kind of some more stuff. Because it's the map of the place. Oh my god, I forgot. This is shitty the first time you do it. Yeah. So you got some cities there. I know there's some other stuff you can play, like the Picts up here, I think. So yeah, Burton's got more stuff. So anyway, that was just another example. I should have stayed on Rome for this. So part of the thing that makes the campaign movement in this really good and makes the city density really good is that Syracuse that starts off in the the Punic War, because like the tyrant of Syracuse takes over, and I forget what happens. It's like they appealed to Rome for aid, and Rome said, "Go fuck yourself." And then they appealed to Carthage, and they said, "Okay, cool, as long as we have one of these cities." As soon as Carthage was on this area here, Rome was like, "Hey, wait a minute, what the fuck?" and got mad about it. And so they fought over Syracuse here, this island, and it ended up being kind of a big deal. But all the cities and all the little movements and territories you have to take, and the different things you have to do are better represented in a bigger map for it. And because in Rome 2, Syracuse is basically a footnote. You've got, I think, 3 cities here. You got like one right there, one right there, and one right there in Rome 2. I think that's it. And so the First Punic War is basically just like a minor footnote, whereas in this one, it's not. It's actually a big deal. You can really get a feeling for the back and forth on these battles that occurred here. So, anyway, that's enough rant from me. So, yes, more cities does matter and does add something to the game. The end.